Hi, Joe Murphy. I'm back. I want to talk to you about this idea about the book I'm writing. It's a question and answer book where I ask questions of myself and then I answer them. And it's about tapping your infinite potential. But I go into the psychological principles behind mastery. In order to tap your potential, you must learn to master your profession. You must learn how to become in the top 5% of your field, and then that will help you drive your and tap your infinite potential, because I believe you have limitless potential. Now, a lot of people might disagree with me, and that's fine, but that's a limiting thought when they disagree. If you believe you have limiting potential, you're going to have limiting potential and you're not going to try. But if you believe in your heart that you have unlimited potential and you start working toward mastery in your profession and mastery over the self, the ego, your fears, your doubts, your worries, and your limiting notions, you can start moving toward this concept of mastery. And the psychological principles that I go over in the book are core elements to reprogramming and then redoing some of the conditioned thoughts and behaviors that you've been living for the past 20, 30, 40 years since you were 6 years old. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. And this is what really we're talking about. Becoming everything you've been designed to be. And I love that term. And aiming for the top 5%. So in order for us to model and create this person or this thing we want to develop it, we must start with, and I hope you can see the camera angle. I'm going to have my camera crew adjust the camera. We must have a vision of what we want. What is it you want? This idea of a vision scares most people, because most people will say, well, I don't know what I want. And what if I choose the wrong thing? And then they go in this circular argument with themselves, and then they wind up saying, I'll just wait. And then tomorrow comes, and then tomorrow comes, and tomorrow never comes and becomes today, because tomorrow is always tomorrow. So choose any vision. I give this idea in my leadership lessons from the front line, or my leadership academy classes, and my coaching to my students. So I tell people, have a vision for yourself, because what typically happens as you start moving towards your vision, because I'm going to get into this in a second, you're going to wind up seeing what you want to do. Okay? And you may go a little bit right. So if you're going straight north, later on, a year from now, 2 years from now, you say, wow, this is crystallizing, and some things happen in your life, and you can see where you're adjusting, and you might be going northwest or northeast by a couple of degrees. But you're still moving towards something. And that's a critical thing. Movement counts. Action counts. Movement counts. Getting out of bed every day and making sure you're moving toward this thing that you've decided you want. Now, what's a critical element after number one is number two. Who do I need to become in order to achieve what I want? This is perhaps one of the most vital elements in this idea of mastery. Who do I need to become? Now, that might sound a little odd. It's not like you're going to become a fictional character in a movie. No, it means, what are the attributes that I need to develop? What are the characteristics and attributes that I need to develop and make them a part of me in order to become that person, in order to achieve what I want? And what I tell people in my classes is write out the attributes. And this is a critical element. Most people don't get to this third part, or if they do, they start writing out one or two. What are the attributes you need to have? Do I need to start with, do I need to get up earlier in the morning? Do I need to start on a exercise regimen? Do I need to stop eating the wrong foods? Do I need to start reading the right books? Do I need to start hanging around the right people? Do I need to carve out time to study? Do I need to carve out time to make sure I get the most important things done at work? By the way, this is related a lot to emotional intelligence and a growth mindset. They're all interwoven. But this idea of mastery starts with what do I want? Who do I need to become? What are the attributes I need to develop? And let me give you the final one. Once you have these now, these written down, these attributes or characteristics, act. I don't want to say act as if, because that's part of AA, and I don't want to get into AA. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way, if you're going. But you need to become that person now. You need to live in the present moment as if you have those attributes already. You need to start thinking and acting as if you're that person now. What you're doing is bringing the future into the present moment so you can be that person with all those high standard, high quality attributes. And what this does, by the way, we talked about this in this session yesterday or the previous session, is you have these life principles you've been carrying around since you were 6 years old. Some family member gave them. Perhaps it was your mom or your dad or an uncle, or it might have been a minister or a rabbi or whomever. But we aren't who we were at 6 years old, but we still have these ideas that we're carrying around with us, these beliefs about ourselves and the way the world works. These new attributes and your behaviors start to knock out those limiting thoughts and doubts and worries and fears, and are replaced with new positive attributes by living in the present moment as if you have them now. Does that make sense? This is a powerful, powerful way to change your life, reinvent yourself, and, by the way, become happier and more successful in life. Success is defined by you. It's not necessarily money. I didn't say money. Some of you always go, Joe's talking about money again. No, I'm not. Although, money is a good measuring stick. I'm Joe Murphy. I am here for your success. Stay tuned for the next program on mastery and your infinite potential.